Hello everyone, it's Alisha Brashay here at Cosmic Gateway. We are moving into the second half of July for 2019 and whoa, it's been quite a ride. So how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. It's certainly very transformational energy. We have the full moon, which is coming up, and then we have the partial lunar eclipse, which is coming up in just a few days. So we're in between the two eclipses, and also what we have coming up this month is we have the new galactic year, which is starting off and kicking off, wrapping into a whole new cycle, so 13-year cycle. So there's been a lot of reflective energy. I know from my part there's been sort of reflecting over last 8 years, the last 13 years, and looking at those different cycles within cycles, and actually seeing some amazing things sort of wrapping up and coming to conclusion. And almost, I have to share this with you, so that there's been this sort of dynamic that's kind of been playing out in the family dynamic, and it has, when I look at it, it has tentacles in different aspects of my life, as it generally does. Everything's very interconnected. And I just want to share this because I've, for lack of a, tried to force and try to shift and try to change things in quite a, proactive way for quite some time. And, when things aren't ready to shift, sometimes we can push a lot of energy into trying to create something and then get really frustrated when it doesn't work. And this week I was guided to do some sessions around that, and beautiful. Thank you to my beautiful friend, client, practitioner who talked me through some doing some quantum field work with the family. And a couple of days passed and I was like, oh, I'm not really seeing the results, but knowing full well that it can take effect when it needs to. And I went to bed just feeling quite frustrated at kind of not seeing the tangible results. And wow, then all of a sudden, I went to bed and I was like, you know what, I just need a miracle. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like, but just give me a miracle. And sure enough, the next day, boom, the most unexpected thing, but I could see how that change was starting to shift and change up that dynamic. And it was just so beautiful to see it happen so effortlessly. So I guess I just wanted to share that little experience that I've had over the last couple of days with you all, just to know that, there is timing for things. Sometimes we can push too hard to make something happen when it's not the right time. But if we can just kind of let go of preconceived, how we would like to see it, and really align with what's meant to play out and what's best for everyone involved, of course, because when it involves other people, we don't always know what the right thing is. But just asking for that assistance and support, and just allow it to start to unfold, and it takes me back to I'm going to share a bit here. It takes me back to the 4-year cycle that's playing out as well, where I went through a very similar scenario of being at a crossroad, knowing that things were changing, could feel the new energy coming in, hadn't quite wrapped up, and at that point quite confused and really quite unsure which was the right, I really didn't know which was the right direction for me. Because obviously we have two parts playing out. We've got our human mind and, the ego self that thinks that this will be the most beneficial thing for us. But of course we've got that soul, we've got the higher self essence who's always overseeing our process, and in quite, in most cases knows best for us. And so when we can kind of get to that place of, wanting or feeling that desire for change or something to shift in our lives, sometimes it really is just handing it over to the divine, trusting that it'll work out, and just saying, you know what, you look after it. I expect a miracle. So I went through, I've had many beautiful instances in my life where that's happened. But 4 years ago was really pivotal for me, and it was it was in less than 24 hours that my whole life changed, after kind of handing it over and going, you know what, I need help, divine intervention. I don't know what's best for me. but you guys work it out. Almost handing over to the higher self to be in the driver's seat, to just allow what needed to unfold. And so there's been a lot of reflection over different circumstances and situations where that's happened, and it's beautiful to see that happen again. What I've been kind of noticing and picking up of what we're going into, or where the energies are at, it very much feels like, I was getting this morning while I was walking, it very much feels like energy of the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot deck. So if you're not familiar with it, the way I see that card is that it's wrapping up a cycle. And and so as it wraps up, we go into a new cycle, and it can be a new cycle of things falling into place and things really aligning and being in that soul's direction, where the higher self's in the driver's seat. Or we can, if we've been on an up, we're going into a deep state of growth and learning. And obviously one feels better than the other, but equally so important. So regardless of whatever cycle or whatever shifting in your life, know that it is for your highest good. So yeah, it does really feel like things coming full circle. And I was looking and thinking this morning, it's been very reflective of different people in my life, and seeing how the challenges that they've faced over the past couple of years. And probably I'm talking to majority of you who are listening to this. The challenges that we go through on this ascension path, and not only that, but it's the acceleration of them. If you go back and look at your life, say, 5-10 years ago, things would kind of seem like they move at a slower pace when processing, and doing the healing work, and all the different aspects of removing those layers of the false self. I know from my own experience, you go through a phase and then everything would sort of peter out again. But we're in such a fast changing energetic climate that we're constantly processing stuff, so these cycles that we're moving into may not be as long or as drawn out as what they were in the past, but there's certainly lots of things coming, lots of truths coming up, lots of things being seen for what they are, which is a beautiful phase, because quite often we have to see, we have to have the awareness. We've got to look at some of those aspects before we can move into getting into full alignment. I just want to share a couple of things that have sort of come through in sessions that have been sort of reoccurring themes. And so when I do my work, obviously I read the energy of people as I'm doing the energy alignment and adjustment work. And so it's really fascinating when I start to see trends and patterns, because I see that that's happening more on a larger scale. It's not just the individual. So I get very excited when I see those things, because it gives me insight. It gives me a deeper understanding of what's sort of playing out. So some of the themes that I have been seeing is a lot of energy release coming from the solar plexus. And, what that is showing me is parts of the ego death, the identity of the false self, or that's how I've interpreted it. So I do feel that on, a collective scale, there is this kind of egoic death. It sounds really intense, but it's not. It's a phase where we go through and we share, and I think that we go through many layers of this. It's not just a one-stop shop. We don't just go through it and we're good. We continually go through it at different and deeper levels every time. And as we go through it more and more, we get better at mastering it. So I really want to put that out there, because I know that a lot of people can hit some, go really well for a period of time and then hit like a really heavy place, and feel really disillusioned that they've fallen back, they've gone back to where they were. It's not that at all. It's just that we go back and we review or get into something at a much deeper level. And so, with this kind of falling away of the false self, obviously that can be where people start to really ask those questions, like, who am I? What, why am I here? What can I do to enhance my life and make it better? And so it's really a falling away of what we kind of built as our personality, as the identity of ourself that quite often comes with a lot of conditioning and programming through our childhood. But not only that, the way I see it in the energy field is, it's much more than that. It's contained of past life experiences. It's contained of ancestral structure in our DNA. And so, all those different facets, as they start to break away, we can feel there's a loss, there's a sense of loss or grief that goes out, and sometimes we don't even have anything that's happening in our environment that makes us, we can't identify to that. Or sometimes we try to place it. It's like, oh, it must be this if I'm feeling this way. And one of the really important things that I like to point out is that energy is just energy. So as energy is releasing and moving out of the body, we do feel it. We feel the emotions, the thought patterns. Physically, our body can be impacted temporarily, and that's where all the Ascension symptoms come in. It's a release of energy. And so what the mind likes to do is, if we're feeling a certain way, it likes to attach to, oh, it must be this. And so our mind wants to make sense of why we're feeling a certain way when it's just a release of energy or clearing that we're going through. And so we kind of can create it or perpetuate it in our mind much larger than what it actually is. So, as this sort of false self drops away, more and more people, it's a beautiful thing, because more and more people are starting to step forward, step up, and align with their soul's path, which is so important at this time. The world needs more and more healers and artists and poets and musicians and just lovers of the world to kind of show the way and help other people who are, starting on their awakening journey. So because of all that, I have put together, very excited, I've put together the Lightworkers Call to Duty program, which will be running again starting in the second weekend of August. So I'll put the link down there, and you can have a look at the layout and the structure of the program, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions or you'd like to discuss it. But basically how I've put it together is it runs over a course of 8 weeks for the formal aspect of the program, where we go through all the different aspects of things challenges you might come up against and things that are important to know as you're kind of moving along that path. You have 3 mentors who support you throughout that entire process, and you have individual sessions with those mentors as well. The ongoing part is, ongoing support in what I'm calling a web of light, which is a beautiful group of people who are on that path, sharing the same vision, and continually ongoing supporting and assisting one another to collaborate, to create new modalities, to create new projects. This is really a time that we're moving into is of beautiful creation, which is my favorite thing. So, if you're interested, the details will be in the description box below. You can always contact me. So that's what's sort of coming through in August, because I feel like now is a time more than ever that we need to kind of band together. It's that thing that keeps playing over my head. It's not enough just to wake up. We have to unite, we have to come together, we have to support one another to assist and support the greater whole. So if you're feeling that calling and you're on that precipice of change, that may be something that speaks to you. So that's that's what's going on my front. Obviously, I'm still doing sessions, so all the details, if you just want an individual session, are in the description box below. Some of the other things that have been coming up in the sessions is that I'm seeing a lot of people bring in a lot of very new high frequency energy, and that energy is really being incubated right now. So if it's an internal process for you, you might be going through that naturally. But what happens is, as we're clearing out, we're doing all this amazing clearing work, then we very much, we start to fill in and we bring in new codes of light which help us in our, incorporation of, of the higher aspects of self coming into the body. But I think what's really taken me is that this type of energy that I'm regularly seeing through sessions is very unique. Very, I want to term it. It's a very potent ascension kind of event type energy. That was kind of the term that was given to me. I was like, oh, interesting. And so many of us are filtering in this energy, which is helping the planet. So it is very revealing times, it's changing times, it's transformational times, and wherever you're at is absolutely perfect. So remember that wherever you're at right now is absolutely perfect. And ask for a miracle, ask for support. If you need that reminder. There was something else that I was gonna talk about. Yes. Okay. So there was one other thing that's come up that's so important is energy hygiene. I can't stress this now. Obviously, I work with energy every day and it's my thing, but I can't stress how important it is to incorporate that into our daily practice. So I thought I would just sort of guide a little bit of a process at the end of this video. If that's something that you're not familiar with and you don't have your daily practice, or you kind of think, oh, I want to do that, but I'm not sure how, very simple technique that I'll guide you through at the end of this video. And if you find that supports and helps you, please know that I do these videos quite regularly on the subscription channel on Facebook. So if it's a small donation each month, and I put up extra videos of different techniques to, master your energy and different things that can help enhance your life. So that's a really good what's the word I'm looking for? Resource if you're, not in the position to have, connect and have sessions or whatever. That's something that you can utilize. I'm sure there's something else, but I just can't think what it is. That's all right. I can always make another video. So what I ask you to do now, before we get into this, I will do this at the end, is just to find yourself in a comfortable position, if you will. You can close your eyes if you like, you can sit up, you can lie down, whatever feels most comfortable for you. As I always say, there's no right or wrong. Just do what feels right for you. So just finding that place, and now as you just close your eyes or feel really comfortable, just want you to take a couple of very deep breaths. So just breathe in and gently exhale out. So take another deep breath in and exhale. And as you do, just sort of releasing any cares or stress or worry or tension from the day or the week. And with each inhale, just trying to find your balance or your center. Just find that equilibrium point within your body. Just taking another deep breath. Okay, so as you do, I just want you to just feel your awareness of where your energy sits. So the energy body, the auric field, it might be sitting just a few, could be a meter, could be half a meter, could be quite close in. Just get a sense of where that energy field sits around you. And just tune into it, so you might get a visual sensation or just an awareness or knowing. And just feel how it feels. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Does it feel dense? Does it have aspects in it that needs to clear? So as you're just having that awareness and also connecting in with your heart space, just feeling this kind of rhythmic motion of swirling around you. So what we're going to do is just set the intention of clearing that energy field. So just creating a swirling motion. So as that swirling motion, that energy field starts to rotate around, we start to clear and transmute anything that's sitting within our energy field that doesn't serve us, doesn't belong to us. Almost like you're sitting in the center of a whirlwind, just allowing that energy just to circulate and move and start to shift up, almost like filtering out the top of our head and out the top of, just moving that energy around and shifting it upward. And as it does, it just transmutes back into light. Just clearing. And you can do this if you want to extend it out. You can do it into your room, to your home, into your space. But just allowing yourself to shift and clear. You might get a sense or a knowing of different things that are moving out of your field, or just set the intention of what you want to clear out. Just taking a couple of breaths as you shift this energy out. And then as you're ready now, we're just going to connect in with source energy from Creator, Cosmos, wherever you draw that strength and energy from. And we're going to ask and call in just that strand of energy now. You might see it as a certain color, it could be gold or white, but just bringing in that column of energy, just bringing it in, connecting in through the top of your head, this purification, this high vibrational energy. As you start to just breathe that in, you start to bring that in through the body, connecting into the energy column, which connects all the chakras, and just bringing that through, just purifying, and just bringing in that higher vibrational energy. And start to breathe it, bringing it down through the body, in through the energy field, and just replacing and replenishing the balance, restoring the balance and the equilibrium. Bring it all the way down into the heart, feeling that swirl, feeling that love, the connection to the divine, higher aspects of self. And allow this energy just to move down through the abdomen, down into your core. As we're going to bring it now in through the legs, down, all the way down, out through the feet, and drop that energy now into the core of Mother Earth. So really anchoring that beautiful energy, that high vibrational energy, and giving back into the core of the earth. And just feeling that sense of love that you have, and really embracing Gaia, bringing that all the way down, being anchors for this energy, this web of light that we create on the planet as it helps to uplift and spread this light throughout the planet, throughout Gaia. Just connecting with her, starting to feel that pulsing, that shifting, that high energy, that pure unconditional love. Just sit for a moment in this space as you connect in, being that anchor of light, feeling that connection between Source and Gaia. And just take a couple more deep breaths as you really bridge that in. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. in and out. Just taking another deep breath as you bring yourself in and out. As you slowly start to bring your awareness back into the here and now. As you allow my voice to bring you back to full awareness, back to consciousness, back into this space. As you allow yourself to open your eyes. And as you do, just notice wherever you're at, just notice the difference in how things look. Do they look more vibrant, clear? Just notice. And just allow this energy to continue throughout your day or evening. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming with me on that journey. As I said, that's just a very simple, basic technique of clearing energy and grounding energy in through you and obviously into the planet. And, this was something that came through that is so important that, while there is such changing times on the planet, even in the structure of the planet with the earthquakes and everything that's happening, we are that web of light. That's what we're here to do, is to bring that energy in and to stabilize and uplift humanity. So, that's something that I always encourage people to do on a daily basis or multiple times a day. It only takes a couple of minutes, and the better you get at it, you can adapt it and shift it to your own technique. It's always about the intention, and that's what's most important. But if we can do that regularly, that's really going to help stabilize these times that we're shifting into. So thank you for journeying with me. And obviously there are, much more different techniques that I use, which is on the subscription channel. If you felt that helped you and you want to learn more about that. So finally, let's go into the intuitive guidance insights for the next fortnight and see what comes up. So I have some cards here. This is card A, and B, card B, and lucky last, card C. So choose your card, and I will do, as always, the separate videos for the intuitive guidance. Thank you all so much for being here. I absolutely adore you. This page wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, your likes, your comments, your shares, and just your sharing, really. That's so important for everyone to know that what they're going through is a normal part and we're all in this together. So, so much love to you all, and I will connect with you soon.